am Abraham Lincoln by Brad Meltzer, illustrated by C.Eliopoulos. I am Abraham Lincoln. When I was little, even young boys were expected to work on the farm and hunt animals for food. Abe, you coming? I'll catch up with you later. I preferred to read. I also loved animals. When I was 10 years old, I saw a group of boys playing with some turtles. They found turtles? I love turtles! Look, it's making the turtle run fast. It's the fastest turtle ever! But as I got closer, I realized they weren't playing. They were taking hot coals and putting them on top of the turtles to see what would happen. To them, it was harmless fun. In that moment, I could have just walked away. When you're 10 years old, it's hard to do the right thing. But someone has to. Let this turtle go. What did you say? You heard me. Let it go. Those boys let the turtle go. Soon after, I wrote one of my first essays about how hurting animals is wrong. That may not seem like a big deal, but back then, most kids and even adults didn't know how to write. In fact, the state of Indiana was so new, schools weren't even built yet. Abe, how's the corn coming? Great, Dad. I went to school for barely a year, total, but that didn't stop me. Using chalk, I practiced writing the alphabet on trees. I even wrote in the dirt of the cornfield. When it came to learning, my best teachers were simply books. I loved books so much. I once walked 6 miles. I'm serious, 6 miles to get one. 6 miles? That's too far for a book. Not for this one. I'd read while my horse was resting, and while waiting in line at the local store, and in one of my favorite positions, with my feet up on a tree. Before long, I had read every book in the neighborhood, from the Bible to Aesop's Fables to Robinson Crusoe. But one of my favorites, a book about George Washington. I'd even copy my favorite parts on pieces of wood. Did you know that George Washington was a friend of men? You're a strange boy, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, but I'm gonna be on the penny someday. What's a penny? When I was 22 years old, we moved to Illinois, where I met a group known as the Clary's Grove Boys. Everyone in town knew they were bullies. I didn't like bullies, but I was the new guy. When they challenged me, I didn't have much choice. You think you're better than us? I never said that. Don't be a chicken. Show us what you got. Today, some may call it a fight, but it was really a wrestling match. Me against their leader, Jack Armstrong. Back then, the rule was, once you grabbed your opponent, you couldn't break your hold. Wham! but Jack did, so he could grab my leg and send me flying. I wasn't mad I lost. Everyone loses sometimes. What got me upset? He had cheated. You didn't play fair. Maybe you'll want to fight us all. Within seconds, they all surrounded me. They were waiting for me to back down or to lose my cool. Instead, calmly and confidently, I told them, if I have to, I will fight. Every single one of you, fair and square. They knew I meant it. You're a strange kid, Abraham Lincoln, but you've got guts. You know, I'm going to be on the penny. What's a penny? Sometimes the hardest fights don't reveal a winner, but they do reveal character, especially when you're fighting for something you believe in. Still, not every struggle brought a victory. Years later, I saw a group of slaves chained together in a boat on the Ohio River. Back then, not all people were free. Some were slaves. Just because of the color of their skin, they were forced to work without pay. They were treated terribly. I never forgot the sight of that boat. I didn't do anything that day, but for years, the memory of those people, it haunted me. I was still thinking about them when I became president. I lost 4 elections before I got the big job. 4. America was facing one of the greatest fights in our history, the Civil War. One side wanted to let the slaves go free. The other side, we want to keep slavery going, and we'll fight anyone who says otherwise. If I had turned my head and looked away, I would have avoided the fight. But if I learned anything in life, it was this. When someone needed help, I wasn't so good at looking away. I'm sorry, I cannot allow that. What'd you just say? You heard me. These people will be free. The Civil War lasted longer than anyone thought. The fighting took a terrible toll. People on our side were ready to give up. To re-energize them, we held a big event in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The main speaker gave a speech that lasted nearly 2 hours. I gave a speech that lasted 2 minutes and used only 271 words. The most important 5 words I used? All men are created equal. Soon after, I helped pass a law that ended slavery in America and freed all those people. Then we ended the Civil War. As a result, we didn't just bring together these United States of America, we proved that this government of the people, by the people, and for the people could be dedicated to freedom and justice. You know, in his speech, he told the crowd that no one would remember what he said at Gettysburg. Want to bet? In life, strength can take many forms, but there's nothing quite as strong as standing up for someone who needs it. No matter where you're from or how little you have, one thing that can never be taken away from you is your voice. When you find something you believe in, use your voice. And when you see injustice, speak louder than you've ever spoken before. When you do, It'll never be forgotten. Look, he's on the penny. I am Abraham Lincoln. I will never stop fighting for what's right. And I hope you'll remember that when you speak your mind and speak for others, there's no more powerful way to be heard. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. Abraham Lincoln. The end. Thank you for watching. Enjoyed this read aloud book? Click like and subscribe to the reading booth.